Hello, this is Michaela of Studios Octopus, and I'm here today doing the catch-up for the October 2017 UK GlossyBox. This was the limited edition Unicorns vs Mermaids, Mermaids vs Unicorns box. Though in the end, I don't think actually the boxes were that different. We all had sort of a blush and an eyebrow product in the palette. I think the palette was more sort of the inspiration of the name, and then sort of people had different colour selections of things, but that's fine. I also think it was a nice little foray into a sort of alternative, almost Halloween-y box, while still being quite makeup-y and not like sort of giving people lots and lots of weird stuff. Obviously they're traditionally less wearable colours, but I thought it was pretty fun. So I've had a chance now to use up the items, and I'll just go into them one at a time, usual catch-up style. So we got a very nice and colourful palette. I put my unicorn sticker on the palette in the end. I thought that was a fair enough use for it. I think then, for the money, these are exceptionally good palettes considering how pigmented they are. One of the downsides of the MUA palettes is they don't really go for lots and lots of very colourful, very pigmented palettes. They have lots of neutral palettes and lots of shimmer palettes. That's what they're really, really good for. I wouldn't say I've ever really had a standout one that has been very colourful, very vivid. And I would say, having now tried a palette like this, these are very pigmented, very colourful, and very nice if you want a colourful palette. Obviously, if you're not looking for something that's vivid blues and pinks and greens, this is going to be less useful to you, but thinking about it in terms of is it good at that for the money, I think actually it is really good at that for the money. For £4, this is going to be very useful if you do want lots and lots of colours. The downside to something this colourful and this pigmented is the shadows do stain. Blues in particular stain anyway. That's not something that's unique to Makeup Revolution. That's just really colourful pigmented shadows kind of stain. They stain your brushes, they might stain your eyes, but that's fine. And then sort of palette composition wise, I think the only downside I would say is, for one, there's not really a blending shade to blend this into anyone's natural eye colour to actually sort of have nice blending. I don't think that's that unreasonable, and I suspect a lot of people will have their own favourite sort of neutral blending shades anyway that they use. But the only other thing I would really say is the downside to this, in that it makes it, for me, not really a standalone palette, is there's no really light versions of each of the colours. So when I'm sort of doing a look with the blues, and I'll go sort of, you know, a dark blue outer colour, a medium blue sort of main colour over it, I want to put in a really sort of light shimmery colour sort of as a highlight, sort of around the look off, and I don't think this palette really has that. I have colours like that in the MUA palettes, in fact, so you can sort of supplement whole looks between them, but I would say that is the downside to this for me, for the type of looks that would maybe make this a little more wearable, is that you would need an extra palette to go along with this. But I do think you could make lots of looks just with this palette. But there we go. I honestly think, for the money, I'm quite impressed with the quality of Makeup Revolution. Like I said, I've never tried one of their palettes, and I think if you were looking to sort of, look for something that is highly pigmented in colour, I would suggest you go for Makeup Revolution more than MUA. In my opinion, MUAs, they're sort of their neutrals and their shimmers are what people really buy them for. So the next item was the Sleek Creamed Powder Blush, which I have used a couple of times. It's a really nice blush. It's what I would expect from Sleek, which is it's very professional quality for a relatively affordable price. It's a nice wearable colour. It does go from cream to powder, which is cool, and it's a nice staple to add to my blush collection. I don't think you can really say anything more about it than that. It's not life-changing, but it is really, really nice. If I had bought this for only $5.99, again, I'd be happy with it. I would think it's worth it. I think definitely worth getting this one. Next up was the Kawaii Enterprise Brush Cleansing Egg. And I have had a chance to use this a couple of times, and I think as well, like I said, I don't actually have one of these silicone cleaning tools. I use like a nice sort of rough textured flannel previous to this, but actually I do really like this. I do think this bit here helps you work up quite a good lather, and then the longer, deeper sort of things help you get sort of deeper into the brush. And I do actually think it was a good cleaning tool. I do actually think that the size as well would make it really nice for traveling, definitely. The only downside I would say is I don't think putting your hand in, like it sort of suggests, and using it like that is particularly comfortable or practical. I found myself mostly using it, holding it in my hand, which still the sort of the nice ergonomic shape works, and that's good. But yeah, I don't think I would use it like that, but that's fair enough. That, like, it's nice, it's good. Again, I think this was a relatively affordable item, $7.99. This would be nice to clean brushes with and not take up lots and lots of room, which is nice. And yeah, you could travel with this. So again, yeah, I think if I bought this, I would also be happy with it. That's quite good. The next item, on here it says model launch of dual-ended brow thing. I got a Lord & Berry sort of deluxe sample pencil, where the full-size one has a spoolie, and this is like the product but without the spoolie. So you're sort of getting at least all of the product, and like I said, like it is like the perfect texture. You can do quite nice definition, but it's not really hard, so you both get plenty of pigment quite quickly, and it's not painful to use. Like I do actually really like the Lord & Berry products. They're very fuss-free, very, like, they do what you want them to do. They're very lovely, and I'm really happy with this. I would say you do really miss the spoolie. You want to sort of brush it on and then, you want to pencil your brows on and then brush through with a spoolie to sort of even it out. And I do think it's a real shame I didn't get one with a spoolie, because I think that would make it sort of the perfect all-in-one complete brow product. But again, the with brush version was £14, and I would honestly say that's probably worth it, because this is a very, very nice brow pencil, and with a brush, those are always handy to have. I have also been using it alongside the Pixie by Petra brow gel, like GlossyBox suggested, and it's been working fine. I do still think if you are in a, like, if you don't have to draw on your brows and you can just use a brow gel, which is what I like to do, this is like extra steps when you could just use a colour brow gel. This pencil is so nice that I kind of feel like it's worth using and going the extra step, because your brows do look a little better and a little more groomed when you brush them through. The only downside is because this has a cute clear packaging, like, because once you start using something with pigment, it starts to stain it inside. I think you can say it's kind of discoloring it, which sort of makes it look less cute the more you use it. So maybe the clear packaging isn't actually such a good idea if you're going to use it with something that's pigmented. There we go. Again, another item that I actually really like now that I've got a chance to use it. Really, really happy with. That was the Lord & Berry pencil, which, yeah, the full size with the spoolie is £14. I think I said this is probably about £10-ish, because it's slightly smaller and is missing the spoolie end, but I think that would be worth it. And then the final item, and this was the Bang Beauty cream colour. Its RRP was £19.50, so about 20 quid, with one of those true at time of purchase things, because I think this is an American product. I think this is the only product that in the whole box that I'm feeling like is a bit it doesn't work with everything else. Like, I think this was a bad item to get. Not that the product itself is awful, it's a lovely sort of creamy consistency, quite a lot of colour, full of colour. Like, it's a nice pink, it's just, I got a blush in the box that works quite well, so it feels like, did I need another blush-like product? So the suggestion for this was to use this as an eyeshadow. If, like me, you have slightly hooded eyes, that doesn't really work. It just kind of smushes out of the way over time into your crease, and then it's not a good look. So for that, it's not a useful product. The other thing that kind of bugs me a little about it is it's not a straightforward pink colour. It has this sort of shimmery, iridescent-y sort of finish to it, which is like an eyeshadow colour, like a sort of a shimmer powder colour. You would expect that, but for something like a blush, I'm not so sure it works as well, and for something on the lips, kind of isn't the sort of look that I like to go for on the lips. So yeah, it's just like, out of all of the items, it's not that it's a bad, it's just I'm less enthused about this. We got a blush type item anyway, so this feels a bit pointless. I think I would have preferred a skincare item, like I said in the first instance, especially since we're getting lots and lots of sort of colourful face products, and then you're going to have to think about taking those off your face. So I think something that would be good for your skin would have made this a more well-rounded box, personally. And it's also a shame that in a lot of ways the highest value item in the box, this is that it's worth £20. Isn't that great? It's like, that does matter less if it's like, I don't feel like I would reach for this as much as I would with as much as all of the other products in the box, and most of them are way cheaper. So yeah, that's a bit of a shame, but it's not the end of the world. Sort of out of a 5-item box, most of them full size, only having one item that I don't really like, actually that's a pretty good score box-wise if you think about it. So that was the Catchup. There's the box there and all of its lovely glory. So the total box value was £47. If you take off the £20 of sort of going like, this is not for me, pull that value out of the box, that still makes the box worth £27, about £30. I still think that's really good value, considering you pay £13 to get the box at sort of the fullest price you can. I still got way better value than I would have gotten otherwise. I've got products that I like. I got to try a makeup palette from a brand that I've always sort of wanted to try their eyeshadows, so that's really cool. And then I have a couple of other things to follow up on. In my initial unboxing, I mentioned that I got a duplicate box. They'd printed the same shipping label twice, so I ended up getting 2 boxes, and I went to the trouble of returning it to them because I didn't feel particularly honest keeping that. I know these boxes are high value, and I know this one in particular sold out. It's like, it seemed like you return it, it's not yours. I already get a great value box in getting one box. And then the customer support, for one, was actually really lovely, and they also got in touch with me, and for one, they refunded me the shipping. That did actually go through, which was always nice. And they sent me a little goodie bag of sort of previous GlossyBox items as a thank you for actually bothering to send the box back, which was really nice. So I thought I'd say what I got. So I got these Emite quite nice eyelash curlers. I think these are worth about $26. Not sure what that is in pounds, probably about £20, but they're really lovely. They're much nicer than the ones that I had actually. And it came with lots of sort of silicone refillable bits, so there's that. I got another Boya eye sort of pencil, multi-use pencil thing, which this I think I have had before, but actually it's really nice. It's a nice sort of neutral shimmery colour. And then I got one of these Essence Live, Laugh, Celebrate Make Your Own Palette palettes, and this is one of the bigger items that I never got before. So it has this cool sort of very 90s, I guess, sort of cover, and then I got a bunch of the inserts to go inside. They did actually send me 4, but they sent me 2 of this one. I assume just because that's what they had left, and considering it's free, like, that's not a bad thing. So I've got 3 ones there, and then I know you can actually still buy refills. So yeah, I just wanted to give that up as a nice follow-up, that they did actually appreciate me sending the box back, and they sent me goodies, which is actually really nice of them. So that was that. And then the last thing I wanted to mention, since we just got the email, sort of, I think, to tell everyone before the new boxes arrive, that they're changing the loyalty scheme from Glossy Dots, which you can just, once you accrue 1,000 Glossy Dots, you get like 25 points per doing product review, I think. You can get a free box, which I really liked because it's sort of, it's very foolproof. You subscribe to the service, obviously you want the boxes, and getting a free box is a pretty sort of foolproof for dummies reward. It's also quite nice in that you only need to get the 1,000 points, the £10 value, and you don't have to pay for the shipping. But they're changing to a loyalty reward scheme with Look Fantastic, which isn't a website that I've shopped with before, but it's like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just, it's a bit weird that they're changing it. In terms of practicality, I suspect it will sort of be the same. Obviously, free boxes are much better value than paying for the products, because you always get more value in the box than from buying it. But then if you use your points directly on a shop, you can pick what you want. You know, you can decide, I want an extra face mask this month, or however long it takes you to accrue the points. And the other nice thing is the website does also still have free shipping, so you won't be like having to accrue points literally just for the shipping in the first place, which is nice. So you will actually just be able to redeem products. But I don't know. I suppose it's the natural. I'm a little wary of change because getting a free box like once a year was working fine. But we'll see. I will give it a go. I already have like £5 credit, I think, from sort of just the surveys that I do. So I might try it out at some point and sort of talk about it again. But there we go. That was the GlossyBox Catchup. I think, despite the fact that I disliked the highest value item, still a massively successful box. I think it was a nice fun box and I really liked all the items in it. So there we go, and I will see you again next time for the November GlossyBox. Bye bye. This is Michaela or Studios Octopus, and I'm here today on this quite strange day. We're having really weird weather where it's like yellow.
This is Peter.
And this is Michaela.
And this is Backwards K. Call that. A new game.